In this video, we are going to talk about some basic definitions in geometry. It all starts with a point, right? So a point in geometry, right, is a geometric entity which has no dimensions. So it doesn't have a length, it doesn't have a width, it doesn't have a height. It's just a point. And well, when I mark this point here, actually I'm making a representation of it, because if it has no dimensions, it is not visible at all, but it exists. There are infinitely many points in space. Now let's consider a line. A line is a set of points, a group of points, extending in both directions. So it's this way, and it's a straight set of points. And it goes up to infinity. So that's why we're putting those arrows here, to show that you can't stop drawing this line, because it extends up to infinity in both directions. Right? So this is a line. So obviously there are infinitely many points on a line. When two lines intersect, they form a plane. You can consider a plane like the top of your desk extending infinitely in every direction, right? So a plane is a flat surface, right? And it's formed by two intersecting lines, and it is like the top of your desk, and it extends infinitely in any direction, right? So a plane has two dimensions, so it doesn't have any thickness, right? The thickness is 0. It just has length and width. And this is called, actually, what happens in a plane is called as 2D, two-dimensional. So all these closed shapes, like a triangle, a rectangle, square, a pentagon, right? So all these figures that you know are in two-dimensional space, and you can just have them on a plane. It's worth mentioning, by the way, that an actual rectangle or a triangle or any of those two-dimensional shapes do not exist in real life. What we have as triangles, rectangles, and squares are just a representation of those, and they have thickness. So actually they are three-dimensional shapes. So in space, we have lines. They extend in both directions. Now what happens if you just cut this line into two pieces? Then you will have two pieces of lines which we call as rays. So this is a line, this is a ray, this is also a ray, because now it has a starting point, right? It is a ray. And we use these rays when we have two of those, like this, which start from the same point, right? If we use two of these rays, we end up with an angle. So this is an angle formed by two rays. But generally, we call these rays, both of them, as the arms of the angle. Now you can see that there is this region in between the arms of the angle, which we call as the angular region. And obviously, some angles will have more angular region, right? You can compare this angular region with this. That obviously this angular region is more than this one. So just because there is this comparison of angular regions being more or less, of course we need to quantify it. We have to know the measure of this angular region. So the angle measures arise from here. So when we have these arms at the center meeting with one another, we end up with an angle. So this part of geometry about angles deals with the properties and measures of such angles, right? Now we have some names for those special angles. Now you may have, let's say, you may have an acute angle, you may have a right angle, sorry, this is not right, but this probably is, and then we have obtuse angle, right? So this is about the angle measure being less or bigger than 90 degrees. So here, this angle measure is less than 90 degrees, this is equal to 90 degrees, and this is bigger than 90 degrees, right? So these are those types of angles related to 90-degree angle, right? Acute angle, right angle, and obtuse angle. And we have more, two more actually. This is called as reflex angle. It is more than 180 degrees. And for 180 degrees itself, we have the name straight angle. And you can see here that this angle is more than 180 degrees, right? And this is just 180 degrees. And we also have an angle called as, when they meet all together, right? It's called as complete angle. Now this is 360 degrees. It's a full circle. So these are some basic definitions in geometry related to angles. Thank you.